Hi everyone, in this video we take a look at Returnal. This is my review. Yesterday I got the game after subscribing to PlayStation Plus Extra, and yesterday I also finished it. So after around dozen hours and 10 deaths, I finished the game, and in this review I'm going to share with you my opinion about the game, whether it's good or not, whether it's super hard or not, whether you should play it or not. Let's begin. Now, Returnal is an action third-person shooter roguelike game. You play as Selene, a space pilot who crash-landed on an alien planet. Isolated and alone, she tries to understand the world and see how she can get out. She's basically stuck in a loop where after she dies, she starts all over again. And after each death, the world around her shifts and changes. The game is designed with procedural generation in mind, so each playthrough will feel different to you. Now, when you die, you lose almost everything. So this means starting from the beginning again with, well, what you started with. Some things do maintain, for example, items that you have scanned, ether, which is a rare commodity in the game. Also, weapon traits and trait upgrade percentage. There are also collectible and sci-fi fragments and house sequence progress, which is also maintained. Also, there are resources that are dumped into the roguelike repository, which will be maintained as well. This allows you to exchange between roguelite and ether. Now, as you progress, you're going to find different augmentations, which allows you to, for example, eliminate certain barriers that you can actually find rare materials there. And of course, you can find artifacts, you can find weapons, you can find different upgrades and parasites that actually attach to your body and give you some buff and debuff at the same time. There are also machines that you can regenerate different random items, and shops where you can buy different buffs and other cool stuff. Now, things of course are randomized, so you really don't know what you're gonna get, and the idea is to try to get some really good stuff to make the run much easier. There are also consumables and consumable slots. As you can see, I have 3 here because I unlocked another one. Plenty of things to find in the world. Now, keep in mind that some of them will cause your suit to malfunction. You can remove malfunction using ether, but keep in mind if you have more than 2, it's going to be a critical malfunction. So just an example, you can see my malfunctions increase dash cooldown by 2.5 seconds, and in order to get rid of it, you're going to have to do something. And again, it's all randomly selected. So here I need to use consumables, 2 consumables in order to remove it. Now keep in mind, this can be devastating for your combat, so it's up to you to decide, whether you focus now on removing it, or, decide whether you're going to take at all an item that attaches a malfunction to it. And there's also an item you can find, it's very rare, you can actually remove all malfunctions. You can decide, let's go and take all the malfunction items and then just use it to remove all the malfunctions. There are plenty of things you can actually do here. And some items actually synergize with malfunction that can give you buff if you have a malfunction. And just for example, melee can be amazing in this game because you can eliminate some guarded enemies, those have shields, and some very tough enemies that otherwise will take a long time to do with. Even with a good upgraded gun, with melee combat you can actually do very well. But if you have like a 2.5 second delay on the melee, it becomes very unusable in certain situations. Other debuffs can be something like when you jump and shoot, it's going to reduce your attack by something like 70%. Some crazy stuff going out there, so you need to watch out. Alright, let's talk combat. Combat in this game is absolutely nuts. Let's take a brief look at some action. Now keep in mind, there's unique mechanics in the game that allows you, if you do it in time, to actually reload immediately instead of having this gap between reloads. This is very important, especially when you want to make sure that you deal damage as much as you can without actually getting a big pause. And of course, let's not forget epic boss fights. Yes, so combat in this game is absolutely insane. So punchy, quick, and very, very precise. You're gonna dash, shoot, use grappling hook, use crazy weapons. And enemies, the way they move, they look so organic, so it just looks so beautiful to watch. And because the areas are slightly dark, you're going to see all the beautiful, vibrant, neon, colorful colors just shining through. And this looks like a beautiful kind of a death dance. It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And I think when you see it right now on the screen, you can see why people got so crazy over it. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And of course, all of that just adds to the action. And you really feel pumped, so pumped when you're actually fighting. And again, face-paced, beautiful designed enemies, beautiful organic looking animations, everything just looked so smooth, amazing particle effects, stunning, just stunning. That being said, they add attention to the environment because they want players to also have the ability to find places for cover, and you're going to maneuver yourself, kind of attaching with a grappling hook, swinging around, tons of things you can do during combat. Keep in mind that some of the things, the abilities you're going to get later down the road during the game, and some of the things, areas will be inaccessible to you until you get certain augmentations, like going underwater, for example, you getting the sword to slash certain obstacles and so on. And this means that it's going to be more exciting going back to previous levels that you've done, where there are some areas that you previously couldn't access. So this makes even playing again a certain level even more worthwhile. So if, for example, I'm using an ability that allows me to dash and deal damage, and I use my sword to eliminate the shield of enemies, overall giving me very, very strong melee capabilities. I can just go on the strong enemies and eliminate them very fast. It's also important to know that when you dash, you become invulnerable in those frames to damage. So use it wisely, although not everything. There are going to be some things for enemies, for example, that you won't be able to dash into. But most of the things, when you dash, you'll be able to be invulnerable to damage. Now keep in mind, dying is part of the game. This is part of the process. Also learning and finding even better loot. Trust me, sometimes you can find a set of loot that make me so powerful that you're going to shred everything. So I know, some again might die more than others. Don't pay attention. You're gonna miss out on an amazing game just because it's a roguelike game, you die a lot. Don't be. Trust me, I also was like that like several months ago. No more. And oh boy, if I thought like that, I could have made an amazing game like this. But I did die several times, I think like 10 times in total. Now if you want to know my pick for the best weapon that makes things so easy for me, this weapon you're gonna see right now, this one they actually put, especially with the web, this one. The Electro Pylon Driver. It's crazy, it's so OP. If you find it, give it a try. The fact that you can actually shoot and let this thing do damage without actually you exposing yourself more is a godsend in this game. So you can shoot, shoot and hide, you're gonna get much less damage like that. Second one is Tachyomatic Carbine. Also recommend investing in protection. Protection will significantly going to reduce the damage you take. Also have something that you have strong melee, because some of the big enemies it's better to just engage them directly, especially if they have shield. So if you have a very strong melee, you can eliminate them very fast. There's also, for example, like a buff. When you get hit, it's going to do 100% extra melee damage. You're going to just 2 hits all these big enemies. It's just crazy. But again, it's up to you to find out the right build. But again, the weapon that I showed you with protection, wow, we're going to shred. And good melee, nothing can stop you. Now, one last thing I want to talk about the graphics. The visual are great. When it comes to graphics fidelity, I wasn't too excited. I mean, look at the environment, and especially, I don't know. If you ask me, it's not like I didn't fall out of my seat when I actually first saw it. But overall, there are lots of details in this game, of course, and the overall composition of the contrast of the game with the really bright projectiles in the kind of a gloomy environment make it really nice to watch. But again, when I look at the textures, again, maybe I expected more. It's not that bad, don't get me wrong. But some of the textures you can see if you're on the ground, I don't know, some things just look a bit, I don't know, not too impressive. But if you take everything as a whole, the visuals in general are striking and very eye-catching. And also keep in mind that when you progress in the game, you're going to unlock different game modes, like endless mode. There are things you unlock. And there's also kind of a secret ending as well. So kind of a nice thing for you to for the game to have extra replayability. If you really enjoy everything, even after you finish the game, you can go back and there are things that are being offered even before. So something to keep in mind if you really enjoy the game and you just don't want it to end. And in the later update, the developer introduced online co-op. So basically, they're going to beat those big orbs, which you can host a public co-op session by inviting another scout to your timeline. So basically, in general, there are three options: host public cycle, host a private cycle, which is a private co-op session, or join a cycle, which you're going to be matchmake with another player's public co-op session. And also, another thing is you can actually kind of make a pause for the game and continue later, because the runs can be a bit lengthy. So it's called Suspend Cycle, and basically you can just stop it, even close the app, and when you go back, it's going to continue from the same location. And that's about it. Highly recommend checking it out. Consider leaving a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this review. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cheers.